one thing. We have breaking news. I agree with you, everything you say. We have breaking very, very sad news, which I'm genuinely unhappy about. Let me just share this with you. Right? And I'm not taking the piss. This is I think this is going to be the cornerstone of your show this week. William Russell obituary. How sad.
Yeah.
Did you hear about
this? No, I haven't heard about this. Obviously, if that's true, then it has to be true.
40 minutes ago, this was released.
Obviously, that's immensely sad.
Oh man, that is. I mean, like honestly, I think. Well, we'll talk about it more on Thursday.
Wow.
This is just taking me by surprise. That's very, very sad. We got so much great William Russell out of Doctor Who with Big Finish and so on. Man, that really. Because he was so classy as well. I loved him doing the Doctor in the Doctor Who Unbound. But okay, fine. So not Unbound, the Companion Chronicles. Okay, fine. This
is the kind of thing that happens, and it's kind of difficult to process in the moment.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna look. I just thought everybody should know we're gonna move.
Obviously, I adored this man. I suspect you did as well, and it's likely that everybody did in the chats as well.
Again, I really love that the CD the DVD they put out with the last Vault magazine. That
with Stephen on it doing the
it's fantastic, but also they had somebody doing in Chester who was perfect, right? Was really, really good, right? But wow, man,
it's difficult. It's difficult to come around from. This is going to be obviously the big story this week. It's going to be
honestly. I'm glad this is a story, even though I'm not happy, he's passed away. I'm glad this is a story so we can talk nicely about Doctor Who without going, oh no, what are they saying now? Which is where we're going to veer into it. Right. Oh, God. I hate this intro. Right. This intro really is everything I hate about this era of Doctor Who. Universe. Ugh. And it could have been so much better. Fine. So we start off. We have this one, Callie, whatever her name is. She was very good. She carried the episode. She was the star of the episode. But like, I don't understand why they made her made them all intense villains, right? 55 minutes before it gets a review. Such an engaging episode. So she wakes up, and like most people do, they grab their phone, right? Then she goes dot, and the little ball flies up and bubble, and it's a it's like a media bubble, like surrounds their head, and that's what they essentially live in, right? And this is very clearly early on a commentary on the TikTok generation, right? So there are people being again, you'll notice that everybody in it is white, right? And so therefore they must be evil, right? So they have the normal like TikTok-y thing, people interacting this way via TikTok, and this is just their vacuous, empty lives. But they can't do anything without being told. So they just stand up, and it tells her to walk over. Oh, it said, you don't need to pee. It's been 2 days, and you don't need to pee. Well done. Well, I don't think that's very healthy. Anyway, so it makes her goes over, and she brushes her teeth, right? And they, talking about whatever bollocks. And then all of a sudden, I think the doctor shows up, right? Oh no! First we have this guy. This Ricky September is actually the hero of the episode, right? He's actually the only hero I've seen in this season. But he is a bona fide, genuine hero. Much better than the Doctor, frankly, right? This guy, I thought, and he's a little bit of an irritating pretty boy here. But it's much better than the Doctor. So he's like a TikTok star. And then the Doctor comes swiping along. And she's like, "Oh, look, it's a big, you're being attacked by monsters. We got to help you. We got to help you." And again, he's not very good at it. And she swipes him away, right? And then you're in the titles, which I quite like the titles, right? It's a shame they're wasted on this trick. But again, this episode for the first half hour, I think mainly 25 minutes. Could have been a good episode of Doctor Who. Which I keep saying a lot of the time. So fine. So this is what we all thought was the bubble in the previews. No, that's the city they live in, and it's very Brave New World. It's very like again they just spend so much money on this, and I really annoys me. They said, "Well, we could never do this back in the day." Yes, you could. For God's sake. Fine. I wonder if we're going to have gay sex next week with the what's the name? Jonathan Groff. Fine. So she's going walking about her business, and again, she can't walk anywhere without being told to go forward, stop, sit down, and she just interacts with people all day. Like, how old is she supposed to be? Because all these supposed to be kids. Man, she looks bonkers there. One second, let me look this up. We'll go to IMDb, and then Doctor Who. I'm the Doctor. That was such an unimpressive opening. I'm the Doctor. Dot and Bubble. Fine, let's click on that. Series 1, Episode 5. Who was it? It was Callie something or other. Was it? What's the name? Really? I can't find like the main character. It's just annoying. Callie Cook as Lindy Pepperbean. So how old is she? Give me a hint. I don't know, because they were supposed to be kids. Fine, let me just Google her. Callie Cook. And she looks like she was like in her 30s to me. So I don't know. I don't know how old she's supposed to be. But it's like, it's very, very part of the script. So she's 30, right? She's 30. Fine. So she's playing like 25 or something. Although, she is genuinely good, right? She is genuinely good in this episode. And they go to work, and she's working on data processing or some stuff. I don't know, right? And the people asking, some people are missing. What? How come they're offline? What's going on, right? And they're basically the day keeps going on, and then Millie tops up. And again, Millie is much better than the Doctor at getting through at everything, right? But Ruby pops up, and she's like, and again, this was 2 days of filming. They're in front of a green screen, we're in Cardiff, and they did a night shoot. So she's like, she appears to be like a system advisor or something, and wants her to do some tests, something along those lines. And they wanted to look outside the bubble, like, I can't look outside the bubble, right? And here's the thing, this looks like an old man trying to be young, trying to understand what it is to be young, right? He clearly doesn't, and it's so on the nose. It's a bubble. Really, are they in a bubble? You think, right? But then it starts to actually get reasonably good at this point, quite scary. So they get her to look out of a bubble, right? And she's supposed to be surrounded by 4 other people working in the same office as she is, so finally she looked and said, "Oh, they're offline. I wonder where they are." Right? So she looks out the part of the bubble and they're not there. And she's like, "Well, that's weird. What's going on?" And then she looks to the left, and she finally sees what's going on. She's out the corner of her eye, which is something I believe was a Matt Smith thing, right? Somewhere out the corner of her eye, right? So again. She's very good, Callie Cook is. She really is selling it, right? And you see her world crumble and just not want to deal with it. And so they're trying to get her to turn the bubble off, right? And she sees the person next to them being eaten by this monster. These monsters were great, right? I thought these monsters were freaking awesome, right? I genuinely think they were a great combination of live action and CGI, right? They were generally creepy, right? Genuinely creepy, And I think, yeah. This is like that you couldn't really what's the word? This is you couldn't really criticize this, right? I thought they're generally good, scary monsters, right? So she's freaked out, and she just puts a bubble back up. She doesn't want to deal anymore, right? And so finally, look at her. She's genuinely emoting, right? So she gets, and then the doctor shows up, and it all kind of goes downhill as soon as he's on the room, right? So they get her to stand up, and they want her to walk without the bubble, and she can't do it. She gets banged into furniture, right? She doesn't know how to do it. So that she puts the bubble up again, and she gets herself out of the office, goes to the elevator, and says, wait, and it opens, and there's a big slug in there who looks like she's about to eat her. And again, a lot of this stuff is very like you see like the tendrils like reach out to her face. Yeah, this was excellent, right? Again, really good creeping Doctor. If it didn't if it stopped the landing, it could have been something like Macro Terror, right? Very, very strong traditionally Doctor Who. So they get her to back off, and it goes away somewhere else, and she starts trying to. And then she goes to find somewhere to hide. Right, her bubble just dies. Oh no, she puts a bubble down, and she starts seeing these things everywhere, and they're just eating lots of people. Right, and she's like, "Well, we're gonna." So the doctor says, "We've got an escape route for you. Go over to this place." So Plaza 55. And just then, I think her bubble runs out of power, right? Oh, no. Firstly, her mother showed. They talk to her mother, who is Susan Twist. They said essentially what this is. I think it comes out as we go along that it's a place where rich white people, because it can't be black people, rich white people send their kids to feel like they do 2 hours a day of work and they party the rest of the day to break them into life or something like that. And that's her mother's like, yeah, cool, how you doing? And then she sees how many of her friend group are offline, right? Which is like getting to be most of them at this point. So she's like, okay, fine. This is just like waffle place to go. And so her bubble runs out of power, right? And she just hears word, but she's not sure where to go. So now she's got to try and get by without her bubble and without being eaten. And again, this stuff is all very good Doctor Who, right? Genuinely very good Doctor Who, right? But you see how quickly I've gone through this episode. I'm like, what? This has been 5 minutes, right? That's really how light this episode is, right? When did I start this? So, look, this has been about a 5-minute review thus far, and I'm basically halfway through, right? And this is a deep dive review. So she's walking down the street, not looking where she's going, and bangs into a lamppost. And I remember seeing this being filmed in the what's it called again? In the location filming. So then she gets to where she's going to go, and there's like a bunch of these slug things. And she's like, how am I going to get past them, right? How am I going to do this, right? She can only walk. That's where she needs to go. And she tries, but she's finding it hard to go in the right line. She nearly gets eaten a couple of times. Then the hero of the story shows up at last. Ricky September, right? Ricky September. He is the TikTok star that they love and adore. So this guy is really, really good, right? And again, what a great doctor he would have been. That's really the impression I have walking away from this. This guy would have been a freaking awesome doctor. Sadly not to be. So he's actually not the shallow, vacuous, empty-headed moron that everybody else is, right? And he's worked out what's going on. So he helps her. He says, come walk directly to me, right? Walk directly to me. Like, use me as the arrows, right? Just walk towards me. And I think because he's Ricky September and she feels like, it's cool hanging out with a YouTube, well, not YouTube, sorry, a TikTok star, right, an influencer. That she heads off in his direction. And here's the thing. Unlike the Doctor, this guy's worked out most of what's going on by himself, right? And it's really impressive. They were from the forest and they weren't really monsters. No, I thought they were genetically engineered when they finally work out what they were. Anyway, so fine. She makes it across and he's like, "Oh, it's Ricky September, yeah." And again, she's really good at being vacuous and stupid, right? And she's really nailing the character, having her be sympathetic at the same time. Robert Payne points out Doc and Ruby recognize the face of Susan Twist. So, we've seen her before, so fine. Yes, I understand you're building to. And again, they really thought it would be like Bad Wolf, didn't they? They thought it'll go down so freaking well. Nope. It's gone really bad. Paul Jones said, and he's cute. He is cute, but that actually becomes something annoying pretty darn soon. So they, it's the first time somebody held her hand or hugged her, which also, this deals with the season-wide theme of abandoned children, children not being hugged, that sort of thing. Adopted, foundlings. This is like an ongoing theme of the series, and it's not overly subtle. And the Susan Twist being in every episode. Well, she wasn't in. She wasn't in Star Beast. Was she in? Was Susan Twist in what's it again? The Celestial Toymaker one? I don't know. So he says, "Listen, I just upload my things in the morning and turn my dot off all day and read books and chill out, right? And I stay home." Pepper being reminded me of an early Donna. No, well, that's actually a very good idea, right? What about it? Rick September was a traditional heroic Doctor, which is why he was killed off in favor of the narcissistic space baby. That's a 50. Yes. Knots and crosses, you are 100% correct. I agree with you. So she's all thrilled to be with Ricky September because she's, incredibly shallow and vacuous, but like you didn't, you didn't realize like. You thought that she would have some more, they'll be able to bring her into some more depth, right? So she worked out where they need to go, which is Plaza 55, and she needs to charge up her dot. Fine. And then he said, we'll contact the Homeworld for help. They'll send somebody pretty soon. So what he does, and again, very doctory, right? He's got a plan. Goes to the Homeworld and finds population 0. Everybody's dead, and just, the slugs are apparently everywhere. Right, not looking at. So he again deals with it like the Doctor would deal with it and doesn't tell her. Right, so then we're really going to take some time to come. So eventually she uploads she charges up her dot, and they've disappeared down the place they're supposed to go. And now they're in this basement bit, and she's got the bubble bit going again. And she meets, and she talks to the Doctor and Ruby, fuck, this worst bit of the episode, right? You see, Ruby sees Ricky September. I'm with Ricky September, right? Ruby sees Ricky September and goes, he's hot. And the shooter's like the same thing. Yeah, wow. Oh, he's so super duper hot. Oh, shut up. I hate that. I mean, it's one thing to make the Doctor more humanish, but to make him like a vacuous, shallow loser, indistinguishable from what her name, Pepper Bean, is like, it diminishes the character significantly, right? It diminishes the character significantly. So what's going on? They go, oh yeah, he's so hot, and he's worked out everything. He knows they've got to send us a pulse thing, whatever, to be able to open the door. Says, yeah, I've worked out how to, I've read about how to do that, right? So he's got to put in 100 numbers, one number every 5 seconds for the next 100 numbers to get the door to open. It's just some MacGuffin, right, to make it happen. So now we get some exposition. Again, it dies when Shooty Gatwa comes on the screen. It really does. And they work out that the people are vanishing and being eaten by the slugs in alphabetical order, right? And again, it's kind of obvious, but I think Ricky, what's the name, probably worked out pretty darn soon. And it's alphabetical order, and they realize that she's next in line, right? She is next in line. And the one before her just got killed. So they're like, don't worry. Ricky says the slugs can't get down here, right? You should be safe. But the doctor's like, no, the dot's a weapon now, right? If they want you dead, they want you dead. What they've worked out is that the AI running everything hates everyone and wants to wipe them out. Again, imagine if TikTok just became self-aware and hated everyone, which they would do, and wants to wipe everybody out. Again, what was the technological achievement of this that they couldn't do 10 years ago? It's beyond me. So like, oh no, you got to watch out. The dot can be something that is going to attack. So the dot starts flying around trying to kill her, right? And it's like bouncing off things. And then Ricky steps up here and says, come, you did the numbers, right? He gets a piece of metal debris and starts batting it back, right? To save them. Then it's about to get what's the name, Pepper Bean, and she says, wait, Ricky September's real name is Clifford Colley or something like that. So he's before me in the alphabetical order. You need to kill him first, right? So Tony throws him on the bus. He's like, what? Right? Pepper, how can you do that? And boom, straight through his head, right? Kills him. Like, boom. So I'm like, okay, right? And this is where it starts to really go. So now she's like a villain, right? And she's obviously always been a villain, and we've been led to believe that she was the good person, or that we thought that they would be, she'll be an idiot who would have some kind of redemption, right? Why was Ricky September written like the Doctor? I think to give us a middle finger, maybe. It reminded me of the scene when Tennant fights off the Heavenly Host in Halos. Yes. It was heroic, right? So she makes it to this this river where they can get out. And like, oh, look, we survived. And like, yes. And then the Doctor shows up. And the Doctor shows up, and Ruby said, oh, where's Ricky? He said, oh, he had to go back. He wants to save some more people. Right? So then he's like, well, you could just go out to the, we're going to be like pioneers. We're going to go out to the forest and we're going to start anew, right? They're probably all going to get killed because they're vacuous empty children. And so the Doctor's like, wait a minute, you can all come with me in my TARDIS, right? Yeah, I'll even give several of you a blowjob. I'm fine with that. And she's like, oh, no, you're one of those people. Look, it's okay to connect with you on the screen, but in real life, God, no. Oh, we can't have anything to do with your type of people. And the rumor is there was some more on-the-nose dialogue written, where which was edited out when they saw how disastrous the ratings have been. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to go, and the Doctor's all crushed and broken. No, don't do it. I got to start crying. And he's like, oh, and off they all go, and he's like, and again, I'm sick of this fucking Doctor being a crying pussy, right? I am just sick of him being a crying pussy. And off they go to start their new life and be killed horribly, and a little bit of crying, right? And again, this is the dots where they did a night shoot where apparently Millie threw a fit, like to get me. And I don't know. And off they go, and she sees them chug off away, and leaves depressing, empty, broken. And again, this isn't. I believe Doctor Who is meant to be uplifting. I believe Doctor Who is meant to be uplifting, and this just isn't it, right? It should be good triumphing over evil, which is pretty much every strong episode of Doctor Who. I mean, yes, you've got to have evil in it, but you've got to have good triumphing over evil. All right, but no, evil triumphs over good because that's as Doctor. He's a bit of a irritating pussy. Apparently, the epilogue where they all get killed by invisible bears, says P.D. Rich. But I don't. you got to believe in the inherent racism of white people to make this work, right? Essentially, which I don't. I don't like. I think it's racist to say white people are inherently racist. And what I like. So is he saying that like everybody lives on Twitter are really in their bubble and they hate anybody who's not in their bubble? Is that what he's saying? I can't really tell. I'll be frank. I can't really tell what his point is. It's not a good one. Whatever it may be, right? It's not a good one at all. Fine. So let's have a quick look at the trailer for next week.
Oh, this is so Bridgerton.
Lord Barton approaches.
Oh, it's a talkless of heartbreak.
There's a shoulder at work on this planet, and I've been paid good money to find you.
What could be better?
I mean, I think it's probably going to be shit based on everything else we've seen. Whatever. And that was it. So I don't know. First, let's look at the ratings. Which what should I look at? Should I look at the Radio Times article, which is, let's face it, hilarious, like absolutely hilarious. Here it is. So the ratings are. Let's have a look. Doink. Doink. Shit, right? The ratings are what we call unbelievably shit. And I've actually got to make I now got to rebuild my ratings chart. I thought I was able to retire that, right, when Jodie left, but no. Here, Doink, where is it? 13 to the spearhead. Doink. Let's open this with. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Now I got to open it over here. Oh, now I can't. Now I've lost the page. I was like, where is it? Where'd it go? I mean, I can see it because it's on the screen. Wait. We do. Oh, there you go. Doink. Fine. So let me open up the ratings chart. So 5.29. That was for Power of the Doctor, right? Power of the Doctor. Not that much power, right? But a lot more power than over here. So 3.47 was the lowest consolidated they ever got. 4.4 was the one up front. Now, there's some interesting data going on with this because it's not good, right? It's not good. So they definitely got the highest. I think this is going to be the highest rating they get of the season. I doubt it's going above this, right? My guess is you got 2 point. Okay, so let's back this up a little bit. You had 2.6 and 2.4 for their double opener dumbasses, and the only reason I think they got 2.4 for the Devil's Cord was because it led into Euro, and so people watched the last 5 minutes and they got the views for that. Then it went tumbling down because people were just not interested for Boom. Now, Boom, however, was an episode that if you turned on and it looked kind of like Doctor Who, Yeah, it had Shooty crying all the way through it and like being a useless cunt. But, it was still a Stephen Moffat episode. I say it's akin to the Two Doctors, right? Two Doctors is, in a reasonably shitty era, which I love, right? I don't love this era, but I love that era. It's a reasonably shitty era written by Robert Holmes, so he's still got that great Robert Holmes-ness, right? But anyway, so that I'm a firm believer that you see the quality of an episode with the ratings, right, of the next week, right? So you saw after Boom, went way up, right? Way up to the highest ratings of the season. A paltry, pitiful 2.2, right? A paltry and absolutely pitiful 2.2. 2.62, I should say, right? And then, so that was for 73 Yards, which was just fell apart completely, like every other episode so far has fallen apart completely. And because of that, it went right back down again to the second lowest of the season, second lowest overnight of all time, only beaten, I think, by the 2.04, right, of Boom. So the consolidated ratings for 73 Yards doesn't paint a good picture, right? So it had a bump from iPlayer over the week of how much? 1.42, right? A 1.42 million bump, which is significantly lower than it was, right? It was getting 1. Actually, no, it wasn't. 1.42 seems about average, right? So I think you can expect 1.4 bump each time. So so Dot and Bubble got a 2.12. And it's so that's going to bring it up to 3.52 will be my guess, right? 3.52 consolidated. Yeah. And I think again the highest rating of the season will be 73 yards, weirdly, which is at a 4.06. So I think this is going. I think, and I don't know what the basement is, where the bottom is. Where if it is going to bottom out, right, or if it's just going to keep going down. But I think if I think we're going to see a decline next week for what's it called again, for Dot and Boom, for what's it called again, the overnights for the Regency one, the Bridgerton episode. So I reckon you're looking at maybe a 1.95, 1.98. I would like to see it be lower. But I think it's going to be somewhere around there. And I think it's going to be overtly gay, like it was, like Dot and Boom was. And it was overtly gay in such a stupid bloody way, right? When they saw Ricky September, the hero of the piece, or Ricky Wednesday, or whatever his name was. I can't remember what they called him, right? But the guy who was actually a bona fide hero before he got killed. The doctor, whoa, yeah! Oh, he's so hot. It diminishes the character so incredibly, right? It like people were worried about him having a romance with Rose or kissing Grace, not like getting a hard on over Ricky fucking Wednesday or whatever his name is. Like it was just such a ridiculous episode destroying moment, right? For me, it was anyway. So I reckon that's going to hurt it. I'll bring it down to like 1.95, 1.98 maybe, and I'm being nice then. So I think that the week after that, if the decline remains the same, I think by the time we get to the season finale, you're looking at 1.5, 1.3, 1.5, something like that, with it seems to be a constant 1.4. So if it's 1.3, let's say 1.5 for the season finale, that'll give it a 2.9. Bloody hell. I would love to see it dip under 3, right? I want to see it dip under 3.1, which is Sylvester McCoy's rating for Battlefield Part 1. But yeah, I would really love to see it dip down. And I think it might happen because it's getting a real reputation as being a woke piece of shit. And frankly, everybody in the world, I was going to say the British public, the whole world is sick of a woke piece of shit. So check this out. Where is this? From Talk TV.
Lee Ross, the excellent TV critic of The Sun. His column is in that great paper every Friday. I really recommend it. Funniest read of the week because there's a lot of material to be funny about. And what you were very funny about this week, Ali, was Doctor Who.
This is not good publicity.
With its tendency to preach and politically indoctrinate its audience, its young audience, gets worse by the week.
Phrase so, it does. And again, I hope it translates into a lower viewership.
It did it again this week. You waited for a story to emerge, but then it just turned out the message was rich white kids are all racist. And there was...
Maybe all the rich white kids he knows. But doesn't it look a bit like Capaldi, this guy?
There was no conclusion to it. It's putting the cart before the horse. It really is. And it's done this, I think that was the 5th episode, and it's done it every time now. Yeah. First one was about refugees. Second one was about pronouns.
Well, was it the last guy?
Third one was just about capitalism.
So the last guy was writing, Chris
Chibnall.
Yeah. So
so he knows his stuff, obviously.
The feeling was that he made it too political. So they brought back its former writer, Russell.
And we were all excited. We were like, yay! Yay, Russell. We're so glad you're back.
Tzvi Davis, who is the biggest propaganda pusher known to TV drama. Let's just remind ourselves of a trailer for this new Doctor Who with a new...
Who cares? I'm the Doctor. Let's look at the trailer because, like, now it really highlights the weakness of this era.
titular role.
There's a storm coming in. You call.
It just absolute shit. I'm sorry.
Honey, that much bigger bang than you bargained for.
Why do we have all this sexual innuendo coming out the Doctor? Again, what? Okay, if LGBTQIA plus is all about love, why is everything about sex? Right? Everything always about sex.
I will shatter this silly little battlefield into dust.
And again, that he just isn't able to deliver the line. I'll shatter that thing. I mean, like, he sounds like a parody of a gay person. He sounds like the sort of gay voice people would use in the 70s to take the piss. I'll shatter your silly little battlefield. Oh, yes, I can.
In a heartbeat, into dust. I don't have a people, I don't have a home.
Again, that was the one moment he actually looked and felt like the Doctor. Right? Oh, actually, that's not true. When I was introduced in Church and Reeve Road, he felt like the Doctor to me then.
I don't have a people, I don't have a home, but I have freedom.
By the way, one second, to be fair, says Colin Archer, there were a few voices warning that RTD 2023, well, and they were all right, and I said they were all wrong, right? They were all right. Even Gary Oldman hates the show now. I don't think that was Gary Oldman, but okay. I like Gary Oldman. Yep.
And it gets out, the TARDIS goes to Wales, and he immediately realises it's Wales because it's got very clean air due to the pioneering policies of the left-wing Labour government down there.
I had no idea. I missed that.
The 20 mile per
20 mile an hour road.
speed limit,
Yeah.
which everyone loves across in Wales. It's
Yeah.
they'd rather it was taken down to 10, I think.
I mean, perhaps it's our audience, but, I keep hearing, Mark Drayford and Labour is so popular down there. All we ever get is people from Wales phoning up and saying, get us out of this hell.
There's a 20 mile an hour speed limit in Wales? Really?
He is, like Doctor Who himself, Mark Drakeford is a glimpse into the future of what you're going to get. Brace yourself for more of that. An explosion of civil servants, government spending on money they can't afford.
Exactly.
More rules.
No, the line, Colin Archer, shattered about it. That's a good Doctor line delivered by somebody who doesn't sound like the Doctor, right? The juice is literally 20 miles an hour. Really? That is crazy.
Regulations.
Yeah.
You better embrace it because it's coming for
What do you
us.
mean you're driving at 21 miles an hour?
Are we still talking about Doctor Who?
Rather than the BBC, was that he was getting replaced because he got too political, and he was.
Oh, talking about Chibnall. Right, back to that again.
But no, it's just the storylines where they had no problem with the political stuff, as Russell T Davies has demonstrated, because he's come in and done even more of the same.
Yes, he has.
And you're now down at about 2 million viewers, which if you think when Tennant was at his height in 2007, it was 13 million. It was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, that was more down to Kylie Minogue. Let's be fair. But yeah, no, it was a phenomenon.
Yeah, when they used to do proper stories, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that political with the Tenant, but it's really gone down that path now. And
The message
it's
has
a
become...
lecture session for young kids.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. And there are good bits to it. I like this episode. Dot and boom, first 30 minutes, solid Doctor Who episode. I like just, which I think makes it worse. Right, there's this bit in Swamp Thing one time where American Gothic was a storyline where they're recruiting people for this giant war between heaven and earth, and they go to Itaken, a demon in hell, and for his wage, they ask for a flower. He asks for a flower. So, and then why does he ask for a flower? Because you can plant it in hell, and then people in hell will see the beauty of the flower, and they'll see where they are, and it'll make it the pain of being where they are that much worse. That's how I feel, right? When they come closer at being good, like 73 yards, 73 again, great, creepy Doctor Who premise, which they just up, right? Oh God! And then add on to that, Cutie, bless him. I just don't think he's got the range to be a doctor for more than one episode, right? Maybe one scene. And the episode was the Church of Ruby Road, which I thought he was, when it was introduced, the time he was supposed to be introduced, running across the rooftops, very effective, right? Very, very, very effective. But and that's where he should lean into the physicality, when he could really do well. But him trying to give a speech, it sounds like a 1970s somebody taking the piss out of a gay guy with a lispy voice. It's really, really, really bizarre. Anyway, so this was apparently their first night. That I thought this was the shoot where Millie Gibson threw a strop and ultimately got fired. Could be. I don't know.
If she did, that was pretty quick, because this was their first time filming together, apparently, doing this scene.
Yeah, I think so. And but Christopher Eccleston was basically out after his first day of filming. He was like, "What the hell?
What's going on here?"
Could be like that. Anyway, so they're very, very, very proud of themselves about this episode. Today, this is a very, very special episode of Doctor Who, where we point out that everybody's really a racist. However, not really, right? Not really. Because first, I don't know about you, I noticed that the entire cast was white before the episode aired, right? Because I'm like, well, that's weird. Honestly, that was what went through my head. But then I thought, oh, this is obviously going to be some kind of point about race they're going to make. So I did notice it before it was aired.
This hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't see this coming at all.
Oh, in a good way or bad way? How did
well, in a good way, in that, look, I mean, the crux of the matter is, if we look at this as to what's on screen, as an episode of Doctor Who for a mainstream audience on a Saturday night, as a piece of drama, this was fucking great. This was really, really good. It's a really strong story, very well made, and the acting and special effects are absolutely outstanding.
Acting special effects were. I think acting special effects were good. Apart from Shooty, I think he's just. I don't think he can pull it off anymore. But again, I think Callie, whatever her name was, excellent. I think first 30 minutes, absolutely sorry. But I'm sorry, this Rusty Davis' inherent racism, this liberal racism.
Well, it's even aside from that.
What?
Even aside from that, which I think is debatable. I mean, I'm more inclined to agree with you than not. But this is the problem that we've got. A few years ago, if they'd have made this episode 10 years ago, or filmed this script 10 years ago, nobody would have. For a start, I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would have been presented in the same way. But I don't think that the conversation around it on. Anyway, I mean, I don't know if there is an either or side of the aisle on this, because I haven't really been paying much attention. I haven't seen much feedback at all. I've had a weekend sort of away, so I haven't seen. But what little bits of dialogue I have seen across the fandom has been sort of, oh, well, if you didn't notice that, then you're a racist. But if you didn't pick up on that means that you're a racist. And it's actually this episode has proven to be divisive. It's not. I don't think it's got people talking. It's actually been quite incendiary. And almost given sections of the fandom license to other one another, rather than.
Well, if you think that's incendiary, let's hear Rusty Davis's words on it, which is not good.
All kind of holding our breath, thinking that's no way you'd start any lead actor off. We talked about it. Should we reschedule? Should we let him settle in? Should we hold this scene off? And in the end, we decided to go for it, and bang! That's a great actor. He just hits.
See, I don't think that scene was very impactful. I think it was. I'm not sure if you heard.
See, 10 years ago, and this is regardless of who's playing the Doctor, because I think that this script could have worked. I think this story and the principle behind this story could have worked wherever and whatever. But now with the first black actor playing the Doctor, the mega woke BBC, it's so badly timed. It's so crass. And the fact that this guy looks so pleased with himself here, this is what I find distasteful.
He's going to look more pleased with himself in a minute. If it gets worse. It's look, for me, again, my basic take on this episode was that Doctor Who, I think I told you, Doctor Who is essentially morality plays of good triumphing over evil. I think that is when you pull everything around aside, that's what it is, and I took that from Tom Baker's conversation with Barry Letts.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and I think this was the opposite of that, right?
Occasionally, though, I think I said this to you a few days ago. Occasionally, though, in sci-fi and popular fiction, the bad guys do win. That's why a lot of people prefer The Empire Strikes Back. But that should always be the exception rather than the rule. And it's something that in a show like Doctor Who you can only really do once every couple of seasons. Otherwise, it simply has no power. It has no novelty. It doesn't stun people into silence or to any kind of reflection.
I think if they did this episode in 2010, for example, with David Tennant, I think people would have just found it weird that they all were racist against I think they would be like, well, could you forget before 2016, nobody talked about Nazis for like 20 years.
Exactly.
It was a done subject. It was like, well, yeah, it was
I believe that a script like this, back then, I think you could take this exact script really, apart from one word, and give it to other casts, other production teams at other times, and it would have come in pretty solid. And you could have still told a story about prejudice. Yeah. Prejudice has always been part of the human mind, whatever you want to call it, human societies. Right. I don't see any. It probably always will be in one form or another. And it's up to us to sort of to push back against these things. But here and now, at this moment in time, with this actor, this production team, in this culture, that is where we have a problem. I thought this episode was stunning, absolutely stunning on face value. But it's very. You see, I'm able to isolate myself and look at this series like that in a way that I couldn't with the Whittaker stuff. It was just too much noise. It was all created with too much spite. It was driven home with spite. Yeah. This genuinely, albeit it's got a head full of cotton wool, as I think I've said before. This show is trying to entertain. It is trying to bring people together again. But it's getting it wrong because of this man here. It's failing because Russell doesn't know what he's talking about anymore. Right. He's a silly man who's saying things that wouldn't have been fashionable 20 years ago. Now he seems to feel he hasn't moved on. He hasn't moved on at all, and he can't see that the world, the country, that Britain in particular, has moved on, and that prejudice has moved on as well. Tell this story with Peter Capaldi as the Doctor.
I was just going to say that. Honestly, if this story was with Peter Capaldi and they wouldn't get in the TARDIS because of Bill Potts, for example, and that would have been insane.
Well, mate, not even
reaction. It would have been great.
It didn't even have to have been because there was a non-white actor playing the Doctor, or the prejudice could have come from anywhere.
Right.
It couldn't be a prejudice because the doctor's got blue eyes.
Yeah.
On my planet, nobody trusts people with blue eyes. It's the principle behind it, and that's where I think this is clumsy. It's on the nose, and I think it's crass and divisive. It's not spiteful, but I think it's crass, divisive, and far too smug with itself, like this arsehole here.
Right. Okay. Speaking of being smug, let's hear him talk about it.
And it's one of the most remarkable performances I've ever seen.
No, it's not, Russell. Shut up.
I don't care.
Yeah, he always loses me with stuff like that. Because this is a nice, in my view, this is a nice performance. But Russell has to say it's the best thing he's ever seen.
Honestly, I think the performance was severely hampered by him popping wood for Ricky's daddy. I think that, why did he have to go? Whoa! It's like having Benny Hill play the Doctor. What's up with that? It just diminishes the character so intensely, right? For me, massive fail. Anyway, hopefully this is the thing he's talking about.
What we can't tell is how many people will have worked that out before the ending.
Oh, let me get here. Let's talk about how we...
Go on, Russell. Tell me why I'm a racist, mate.
You will die!
She was excellent in this, by the way. Callie, whatever her name is, and Ricky September. Excellent. They were really good.
The acting was, everything about this episode was top draw. This is how Doctor Who should look and feel. Where it falls down is this.
out there. And I can save your lives. Now let me.
We differ on if this is a good performance or not. If it's a powerful, for me, it's not.
No, I draw the line at powerful, but I think it's a nice performance. I think it's in step with the character. I think he performs this well, but I can't say that it's anything like on the scale that Russell T Davies is selling it at. This should be base level for an actor playing the Doctor, not some sort of great moment that's going to be held aloft.
Yeah, I agree. Although I would say hands down, this is the best ever of the season so far, and I think because it had good monsters in it. I can love those monsters. I thought they were great, but yeah. Yeah, this is kind of where it loses it for me. But come on, we're on Russell.
Main response to this episode is going to be about the ending. What we can't tell is how many people will have worked that out before the ending.
I worked out before the beginning.
Because they've seen white person after white person after white person. And television these days is very diverse. Now,
Yeah, no, but it's not just diverse, it's unrealistically diverse. So let's say you've got a production in the middle of fucking Wales. You were not going to be weirded out by it all being white people. Just like Wakanda Forever was all black people. Was that like, it's not diverse? You know, it's only about skin color in this fucking head, the freaking moron's head.
I'm working... I've been working my way through my thoughts about this for a little while as I'm putting together reviews of all these episodes, and because I do like to when I watch them. This is why I don't read any previews of this stuff. I certainly don't read any reviews before I watch one. Now the conversation. I hate to say this because I love Doctor Who and I love the Doctor Who fandom. I love talking about Doctor Who, but so much of the conversation around Doctor Who and the piss and the wind sort of filling up media is around everything but the show. So I've been trying to tune this out since this season started.
It's the only way to watch it without wanting to shoot yourself in the face. I mean, it really is.
Will you be 15? Will you be 20 before you start to think everyone in this community is white? And if you don't think that, why didn't you? So
because you live in a country of white people, you dumb cunt. That's why. It's like, okay, special effects, if you notice them, they're bad, right? Why are the special effects in the Flash bad? Because you could notice them, right? People don't notice things that are normal because people don't notice skin color because most people are fucking normal, right? I just like, skin color.
This is the problem. They think that everybody's as obsessed with identity and these themes as they are.
Yeah, and they are obsessed with identity because it gives them, it makes them feel good about themselves. So let's wrap this up.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. I hope it's one of those pieces of television you'll see and always remember.
Yeah, no, it's going to be forgotten, mate. I'm sorry.
My first day on Doctor Who.
I just wish he had a better voice, right? I just wish he had a better voice. There is actually something I'm going to make a jump decision on about good Doctor Who, which is this, which looks freaking awesome. I am so up for this. Have you heard about this?
I saw this artwork earlier on today. I was quite look like you. I was really excited for the Dark Gallifrey stuff when they first announced it, and then I saw the Morbius line and thought, "Well, what's this?"
the Morbius one. I've heard the first two. They only released the first two parts so far, and it's a bit of a minor story. It's really kind of weird. It's like that bit in Dracula where the boat where he's on the boat to England, right, and he slowly killing everyone. It's like it's done in a cutscene essentially of the book. Right. So that's what there's a time ship that's going from Karn. It's very much like an Earth vessel, like a sailing vessel, and it's like you get many. It's all stuff from the Time War that was with Morbius and all that stuff sounds way more interesting than anything we've heard about. So, like for me, it's not a recommend. But this, oh my god, this sounds fucking awesome. Firstly, more David Warner, Lisa Barrowman, Doctor. I mean, that's got to be at a premium.
But that's how I felt when I saw the artwork. I thought, because I believed that everything that Warner had recorded was already released. I think, oh great, they've got more with David Warner. And then I remembered, what they've got some Sam West as Morbius, and they seem to have served him, handed him the shitty end of the stick there. I don't want to hear David Warner's final work for Big Finish to be more wokery,
Well, no.
So if you say this is going to be worth listening to, if you think this is going to be worth listening to, then I will give this a go.
Well,
if you give me the thumbs up.
Writing it, who is not normally quite solid. And here, we'll read through it. So it's got Lisa Bauman, David Warner, James Master, and Derek Jacobi. So pretty darn solid cast right there. Good writer. So many have sought out the legendary Dark Gallifrey over the millennia. So I guess this is where the Morbius story is going to finish, where it's going to make an alternate reality. I know that the Dark Gallifrey reality. That's probably the what's going. It's skippable. Totally skippable. So you got Bernie Summerfield and Captain John Hart. That was the kid's character from Torchwood. James Master are among them. So they're looking for Dark Gallifrey. But there's another who has his eyes on the glittering prize. One who knows how such power could be wielded. The War Master himself, Derek Jacobi. Normally excellent, right? Normally excellent. So again, this sounds good. But this is the first part in July. But at least they learned they got the covers working over here. So that cover works. And I think the covers for Morbius really killed it. Again, this actually looks like something I will again. Derek
it's nice.
Yeah, and I like they got James Masters in it. And then the final one is got the War Doctor in it as well.
That's even nicer. Yeah, I like that.
Right. And then I think they got a new War Doctor one coming out. 1 second, where is it? Where is that? Which is this is going to be quite kind of expensive month. There's a lot of good stuff. They got Goth Opera. I want that. I certainly want the Dark Gallifrey. I think I might give Operation Werewolf a miss. I like Michael Drown and Fraser Hines, but I'm getting quite a big getting Operator Death World, which is the 10th anniversary. It didn't happen. And the second Doctor Avengers. I'm probably going to give that one a miss. But where is it? Oh yeah. So this is the next. They're kind of rebooting the War Doctor range very, very cleverly, right? This is more like he's a bit older now, and a bit more used to being in the Time War. But they're doing single stories instead of which is what this range desperately needed, right? Jonathan Carey is excellent. And it's got Morbius the Mighty, so I think that they get Morbius in it. But
that's a great idea, though, isn't it? You think, how would that work? You want to hear those voices together. You wonder where could that story go?
Right. Question is Louise Jameson working on it? That's because she's somebody who really invented that range. Who's directing it? Did they have the director there? Okay, so the War Doctor stuff, directed by Louise Jameson, is significantly stronger than anything else, right? And so she's not. They don't have a director listed. Oh, director Bethany Weimers. What can you do? But the Lou Jameson stuff was excellent, right? Absolutely excellent. So this is stuff I'm actually looking forward to. We got a good couple of months of Doctor Who coming up. As soon as the TV show finishes, which I can't wait for this season to be over. I mean, I know you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, but I totally can't wait for it.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, when I say
my name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.